I have been putting a spotlight on Stellar for a bit of time now, and it seems as though we are about to wake back up in a big way, marching into FOMC week, where we are most likely going to see the first official rate cut from the Fed this year. I truly do think that these markets are about to erupt much higher, and when it comes to XLM, guys, the setup here, everything around the Stellar ecosystem, I really do think that XLM is extremely bullish, more bullish than even going back to November of just last year, where we went from roughly sub 10 cents to over 60 plus cents in a very short amount of time. Looking at the price chart for XLM, this is what we have in front of us. We are just trading above those highs, going all the way back to March and February of this year. We did find a lot of support right around that 35-cent zone. So far, we are holding a higher low going off of the lows from June. Now we are waiting for a big break over the highs of July. And then after that, we will most likely target those highs going all the way back to November before we target the all-time highs. We still have the 2021 highs that we need to break too. But, I do think that once we kind of clear these levels, we're going to a new all-time high and going into price discovery on XLM for the first time in a very, very long time. But overall, the chart looks very good here. We've just been trading around these levels. This is all just major support. We're building a floor here. We still need to clear. Even if we're looking at the daily here, it's a little bit more clear, right? So number one, right off the rip, we need to clear this roughly like 42, 43 cent zone. This is lower time frame highs that we must break over to create some, higher highs. And then also higher lows. Anytime that we have a sell-off, it has to be a higher low. So I'd love for us to hold 35 cents. We should not be losing this at all on the daily. So watch for that. If we do lose 35 cents on the daily, that will invalidate this low being support. And we would be looking at a little bit lower price action on XLM. But I do think that we hold 35 cents. We'll probably just range here a little bit more while Bitcoin decides what it wants to do leading into FOMC week. And then we should start to see this chart waking back up in a big way. Now, a big reason for me being so bullish on XLM this cycle is, number one, just the overall environment around crypto is changing, right? Regulations are starting to become a reality. We are seeing acceptance from the US government for crypto, stablecoins, etc. We are also starting to see the SEC giving the green light to a lot of these big players working with this space. We have the SEC and the CFTC coming together to work on crypto clarity. We just passed the Genius Act, which was a huge one, the stablecoin bill. And then also on top of that, the Clarity Act seems as though it's making a lot of moves as well. So again, currently speaking, the entire environment right now for utility-based projects like XLM, it's just extremely bullish. But also on top of that, the moves that Stellar has been making are very significant. Like for an example, Whisk. So here we have, today's the day. Whisk Protocol 23 goes live with 8 upgrades that change how Stellar is built. And yeah, if you guys missed this, this did go live officially. And here we have the announcement from September 3rd. We have Whisk is live, parallel smart contract execution, memory first state management, unified event format as well. Now, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on what all of this means. Well, here we have a few breakdowns of this. So number one, unified asset events. Classic operations and smart contracts now speak the same language. No more fragmented data, no more duct-taped systems, just clean, consistent outputs. Second, parallel transaction processing. Stellar Core can validate while preparing the next batch, more throughput, faster confirmations, and fees that stay low under load. Plus 6 more caps that keep pushing performance forward. For developers, Whisk removes friction. For users, it delivers speed and affordability. For the network, it lays the foundation for scaling with real-world demand. Validators vote September 3rd at 10 a.m. PT. If accepted, Whisk goes live on mainnet. Next up is the letter X. Got a favorite everyday tool that starts with it. So yeah, listen, if we think about what's happening here, we constantly see the Stellar network get major upgrades pushed. The last one that was this significant, I would say, was where we got Sorbonne, right? Smart contracts were enabled on Stellar. That was a big one. This is kind of right next to it, I would say, because again, the entire network just got a massive refresh. This is incredible to see. And on top of that, we continue to see more integrations. Back on August 26th, we did see big news. Wallet TG, crypto wallet in Telegram, now supports Stellar. With 100 million plus users, this integration brings Stellar right into one of the world's most popular messaging apps. This is definitely a big one as well. Means more exposure to Stellar and XLM, so this was great to see. On top of that, we also got another big update, which was Stellar is now live on Near Protocol. Intents swap from 20 plus chains right into Stellar USDC. No bridges, no waiting, no complexity as well. And by the way, Near is, a massive project in the crypto space, 1.8 million followers. So we love to see that. This is great exposure as well. And just another big expansion for the network. On top of that, Meridian. You guys already know that I've been putting a spotlight on Meridian for about roughly the last 2 months because this is going to be a massive event for Stellar. It's going to bring a lot more eyes and a lot more attention to Stellar and the entire ecosystem. On top of that, guys, we are 7 days out. 1 week. September 17th. Does that date remind you guys of anything? Well, it should, because that's the same day that we get the Fed rate cut decision. That's right. The same day as the FOMC meeting. And if we're thinking about that, it seems as though it's going to be a very good time for Stellar because there's a lot of great discussions that are going to be happening at this event. Just like I said, there's going to be a lot of exposure, a lot of attention on Stellar. And it's at a time where we get the first official, in my opinion, rate cut of the year from the Fed. Guys, this is a big deal. The environment right now around Stellar is very bullish. This aligns perfectly with the Fed. I'm very excited about this. Now, on top of this, we also have this update. According to a Goldman Sachs report, the stablecoin market could reach trillions of dollars, with payments as the largest growth opportunity. Stellar is already scaling that market with 4.2 billion plus in RWA payments and TVL climbing almost 200% from Q1 to date, 50 million to $144 million. Now, what's very interesting about this is if we go over here to Stellar on rwa.xyz, take a quick look at the RWA value. $500 and almost $34 million, up 13% almost in the last 30 days. Stablecoin market cap down about 9.4%, but we're still hovering around $200 plus million. Stablecoin holders are up 2.5% over the last 30 days, 542,000, almost 543,000, and there are 7 stablecoins active on Stellar right now. And yes, if we're looking at the transfer volume, we might be down right now currently on the month. But I want to show you guys real quick. I know that this was loading before. It might be broken now, but before this was showing me the monthly transfer volume. Sometimes it kind of breaks on rwa.xyz. I do apologize, but regardless, yes, in the last 30 days right now, stablecoin market cap or transfer volume is down slightly. But if we go back to just like 2-3 months ago, stablecoin growth on Stellar was just going insane. And this also aligned perfectly with a few of the recent launches around stablecoins. And if we zoom in down here on some of those stablecoins, for an example, I think the most recent one that we saw was the Canadian dollar. I might be wrong on this. It might have been MZAR. I know one just recently launched on Stellar. I think it was MZAR. We've been starting to see a few of these stablecoins growing rapidly in this market that are not USD denominated stablecoins. That's the biggest thing that we want to focus on here when it comes to Stellar, because it's not just, oh, hey, yeah, they have USDC on, Stellar. That's a big game changer, right? Like, don't get me wrong, $214 million worth of USDC on Stellar is great to see, but we also have a ton of additional stablecoins like the Australian digital dollar. We also have Circle's euro, right? Yours, for an example. We also have Z.com's USD, which is a USD backed stablecoin, on top of G Yen, which is a yen stablecoin. And then, yes, we also have MZAR. This stablecoin might not be that big. This is a South African Rand backed stablecoin. Right now, I think that they're just starting to bring this on chain. There's about 2.7 million tied to this. It's nothing too crazy just yet, but the fact that we have this many different stablecoins on Stellar is a very big game changer for the ecosystem, because it's not just USD backed stablecoins. There's even the Canadian dollar digital money as well. I love to see this because it does go hand in hand with the stablecoin market. Everywhere around the world, we're starting to see stablecoins growing. Now, yes, that's primarily USD backed stablecoins, but I do think that there's room for more growth within the other additional fiat currency stablecoins as well. And I do think that Stellar is prepared for this. They already have all of those stablecoins locked in, which I'm very, very excited about. And then also on top of all of this, we did get another update from Danielle Dixon, and we have: there is no blockchain future without institutional adoption. There is no real impact without serving the 1.4 billion unbanked. Building rails for both isn't optional. It's exactly what Stellar is made for. Now, if we are thinking about this, how do we lock in on both institutional adoption and that 1.4 billion unbanked? Stablecoins. This is why Stellar having all of those stablecoins tied to it is so important to focus on. Because again, stablecoins are the key to almost every single market, institutional or even retail wise. This is something I think everyone should be paying attention to, because these networks like Stellar or even the XRP Ledger, right, that have all of these major stablecoins launching on them, they are going to be the ones that are primed for major adoption, not just from retail, but also from the institutional side. This is also why DeFi being on these networks is so important as well, because institutional DeFi is going to become a reality. And then also, in terms of those individuals that are unbanked, DeFi is a key player in banking the unbanked. We've been talking about this since going all the way back to like 2017, 2018. So again, Stellar is fully prepared for this. And Stellar has always been targeting that 1.4 billion unbanked. That's always been their goal. Even with MoneyGram, right? When they announced a partnership with MoneyGram, they said, hey, this is, a way for us to really kind of bridge the gap and bank the unbanked. Yeah, Stellar has always been a part of that. And also what's crazy about this is Stellar is fully working with the UNDP, which, let's just be honest here. This is a huge update. This is the United Nations Development Program, and this is working with Stellar and also Flock.io. They are global partners that are welcomed in, and this is also, of the SDG Blockchain Accelerator. Together with Blockchain for Good and Emergo Labs, they bring powerful technical depth to blockchain solutions for climate finance, energy access, social protection, and more. Again, these are the types of announcements that we need to focus on, because if we're thinking about what Stellar is mainly focused on here with this announcement, they are leading in building inclusive financial systems. Again, if we're thinking about that, that is right on par with what Stellar is telling us over here. We want to bank the 1.4 billion unbanked. Yeah, well, that's where we start to see that inclusivity around financial systems. That's exactly what Stellar is locked in on. So if we're thinking about this, all of these announcements that we see with Stellar are all kind of tied back to the same thing, which is banking that 1.4 billion unbanked. This is also why Stellar, even going all the way back as far as like 2020 into 2021, has always been really kind of talked about as being a major key player in advancing and ultimately achieving mass adoption of blockchain, because they're fully focused on the biggest problems that are hitting the retail sector, but also they're focused on institutional as well. So we'd love to see that. But all of these things, right? Every single one of these announcements, every single thing that we went over in this video is exactly why I do think that XLM right now, in terms of the chart, I really do think that XLM is going to perform extremely well going into Q4. We're still up 300+% in the last year. I think that we go significantly higher going into Q4 and also towards the end of this year, especially with the Fed hinting at cutting rates. I mean, guys, the environment right now around XLM is perfect, especially with Meridian coming up. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what XLM can do. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.